Welcome back to On Point. I'm Andy Martins. Thank you for being here for this edition. We're live on TV on Tuesday, October 22nd, live on Facebook, and the election's over. We'll be back to talk to Amy Sacato, the People's Party candidate in Sault Ste. Marie, right after these messages.
This is On TV.
Welcome to the Machine Shop, our historic venue and gathering place for friends and family. Built in 1899 on the site of a Northwest Company trading post. Today we are a go-to venue hosting many expos, concerts, weddings, and more. While you're here, choose one of our dining experiences. Enjoy a quiet dinner at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar, watch a game and try wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room, or treat yourself every day to gelato and local coffee at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop, visit machineshopinc.ca.
Here, your education is everything, supporting your true sense of purpose. Here, you'll learn from professors who will understand you, who will challenge you, and offer you support on your journey. Here, you'll study programs built on real values: business, technology, science, arts and social sciences, always geared to make a positive difference. Here, you'll have a chance to assist in faculty research, leaving your mark wherever you go. Here, you'll focus on what matters to you and impact the world around you. Algoma University. Come take a closer look.
Welcome back to On Point. We're on live on TV and Facebook, and we enjoyed bringing the election coverage to you last night on TV. It's all done, and we're here to talk with Amy Sacato, the People's Party candidate in Sault Ste. Marie, about all of the ongoings in Sault Ste. Marie and across the country. Amy, thanks for coming in again to On Point.
Well, thank you for having me again.
No problem. I'm thrilled to have you. Let me say first off, I'm so sorry that your party delivered the result it was by Canadians. I was not expecting to see that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting, especially out of provinces like Alberta and that, they wanted the pipelines up and running, and it was very confusing to see that we didn't even get one seat. So it's kind of a shock, but it was hard. It's a new party, and we went up running, and we did the best we could, told the truth, stuck to our values.
I agree with something you said to me last week or a week before. Possibly the People's Party is more conservative than the Conservative Party of Canada.
I did say that.
Oh, well.
Yes.
To something to that extent, the conservative, no, you said the conservative values.
Well, I did say that because we were going to balance the budget in 2 years, and Andrew Scheer from the Conservative Party said he was going to do it in 5. We wanted to start the pipelines, which is getting Canada back to work, and it's very important to the economy, and we wanted to do it immediately. And the Conservative Party wants to do it in 8 to 10 years.
Right,
so
right.
It's like there's like a lot of huge differences, and I feel like the Conservative Party was just trying to appease the people. They lost their values along the way, and they were just trying to please the people that they believe that Canada wants to see now. But it's not the way that it should be.
Well, I think we lost the policy. They didn't, in this campaign, we didn't talk policy. It was all about personalities and about themselves. And, the campaign was like a mouse on a treadmill. It wasn't getting any traction.
No, and And it was like watching two young boys
Right.
at recess in a schoolyard. Like, no, you're the worst guy. No, you're the worst guy. It's like, okay, just tell me what you're going to do for me. I don't care about the other guy.
Very divisive politics. But talk to me about your experience of being a candidate in this election. How do you feel now after the election? Did you enjoy the experience?
Oh, I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I loved debating with the best of them. It was fantastic being up there, getting to spread the word, getting to feel the passion and speak with conviction, and I loved every minute of it. I wouldn't give that up.
Did you find, did you see the different styles of the candidates and how they compare to your style?
I did. At first everyone was kind of a little nervous, you know, but then we got used to being there, and there was definitely different. Everybody had their own ways of doing things. It was easy for me. Public
Right.
speaking is easy for me. I kind of take the fear out of it, so
Right.
it was fun for me. But you could see some of the candidates, they just didn't like it too much, but it's part of the
I think
game.
people see that. You've got to deliver politics with heart. You don't go into debates memorizing your opening and stuff like that. You're not a robot out there. You're out there to deliver passion. And the debates that I attended, I saw that from you. You delivered your answers with passion, that you believe in the policies and believe in making it better for the people of Sault Ste. Marie.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I just try to listen to, like, gear to the audience what they wanted to hear. People would ask me beforehand, oh, you got your speech tonight? I said, no, I'm just going to wing it. So
Right.
I just go up there and just try to say what's important to them, maybe with the policies that we have that they'd want to hear. And I just spoke from the heart. You know, and that's the best thing I could have done. Said the facts, the truth, and spoke from my heart. And I did my best, and I had a great time doing it.
Awesome. Talk to me about the results of the election, divided country, all of this stuff that I'm hearing. What I say is that minority governments are part of politics, like it or not. Justin Trudeau's father had it. Paul Martin, Stephen Harper had to deal with minority governments. I think minority governments are better than majority governments to getting things done in this country and in this province.
I appreciate the minority government. I'm just surprised with Trudeau's track record that a lot of people voted Liberal back in. Like so many. But when you see how the system works, like I didn't know that Toronto has 25 to 27 seats just in one city,
Right.
which it just seems like that would be like in Sault Ste. Marie just pledging down one street and having the majority all in one street. It just seems like it's not fair for the rest of Canada. And it's so divided. You see the map, it's so divided. You have the East Coast is all red, and then there's blue in Alberta and Manitoba, and then the NDP had some areas.
But I mean, the courts decided, Justin Trudeau made some mistakes with Alberta, but the courts decided that the reality on what happened there. And Alberta also got into a tiff with British Columbia. So Justin Trudeau gets the most of the blame, but really in reality, it wasn't all the Prime Minister's fault and what happened with the pipeline.
No, but now the pipeline's not going to be built, and in 8 to 10 years, if that even happens, they're going to need so much money just to upkeep them because of how they've decayed through the 8 to 10 years.
Right.
They're not being
Well,
used.
I think Justin Trudeau sees that he needs to do something different with Alberta and with Quebec, and because of the rise of the Bloc. Now, what do you think? Are you surprised about the rise of the Bloc in Quebec?
No.
Did that surprise you?
No. I feel like a lot, like Alberta and Quebec, they're in the same boat in a lot of scenarios where they don't like what's going on in Canada and they feel like they don't want to be part of it anymore. And Quebec has had that separation feelings before, and they feel it again. And Alberta now is starting to feel it. I feel like we're losing our country. That's how I feel. I was very disappointed at the results today. I think last night my power went out, And I didn't come back on until about 12 o'clock, so I was completely in the dark on what was going on, and I had my friends texting me, and I had a couple friends over, and they were using their data plan to get it, but then their battery was dying anyways. So I didn't get the results, so I woke up this morning with the true results were, and I was like, are you kidding me? What is going on with the world? I just feel like people will say one thing, but then they do something else, and if you're unhappy with what's going on, it's almost as if it seemed like a lot of Canadians just strategic voted and said, well, we don't want it to be Scheer, so we might as well pick Liberal. Like, that's what I felt like a lot of the time was going on, because I just don't see what they see in the Liberal Party. We're already broke, and they want to just hike up more taxes and bring the carbon tax up some more, and they're going to have to increase the GST potentially, because where are they going to get all this money from? They can't, like, they just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing.
But wait a minute, Scheer mentioned that, but that was false. At no time
it was false,
did the
but
Liberals
where's the money?
that.
Where's the money going to come from?
Well, exactly. But the polls were right. The polls, the odds of winning most seats was 60% for the Liberals and 40% for the Conservatives. But, Amy, you've got to ask yourself the question, is debt really an important issue for Canadians? They voted on that yesterday.
It is when we're at our max of the debt. When you go to the bank and you ask for a loan because you need to fix something, and they're saying, no, you're already maxed out, we're not going to give you any more. Where's the money supposed to come from?
Exactly. But the consumer debt is at an all-time high in this country.
Well,
so
we got to borrow money just to pay the government, because they keep asking us for higher taxes and pay more on our income tax. We just don't have it. So
exactly. Well, you know what? Minority governments make the politicians work harder, and I think that's what we've got. But let's take a quick break, Amy. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Here, your education is everything, supporting your true sense of purpose. Here, you'll learn from professors who will understand you, who will challenge you, and offer you support on your journey. Here, you'll study programs built on real values: business, technology, science, arts and social sciences, always geared to make a positive difference. Here, you'll have a chance to assist in faculty research, leaving your mark wherever you go. Here, you'll focus on what matters to you and impact the world around you. Algoma University. Come take a closer look.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Welcome back to On Point. I'm Andy Martins for this edition. We're live on TV on October 22nd, and we're live on Facebook. We're chatting with Amy Sacato, the People's Party candidate in Sault Ste. Marie, who I would have wished her party would have a better response from Canadians, but it didn't work out that way. Now, what is the goal forward? Your leader was saying that he's going to meet with all the members in Canada, and you guys are going to map a new direction for the next opportunity. What do you feel needs to be done to give the People's Party a better chance of getting seats in the next election?
Wow. Well, there's probably lots of different things that can be done. Just like any new party, we need to get the word out. It was hard to do it in 1 year. It just seemed like it wasn't enough time. So for next election, we will have more time, and that'll be an advantage for us. The other thing that we want to do is make sure everybody's playing the game fair. So we had a lot of negative campaigns against us, so it made it more difficult, and it didn't make it fair, which is wrong in our democratic system. But there was lots of challenges we had, but the energy that we had and the group that we had was so great. It was amazing, and it was amazing to be part of it and working from the ground up. It was beautiful to see.
Do you think the party was a little bit too far to the right, possibly look at coming back to the center of the political spectrum a little bit more?
No, I don't think so at all.
Okay.
Not at all. We believe in what we believe. We have our values and we're not there to buy people's votes, and if you agree with us, that's fine. Sometimes there's a part in a country, just like sometimes in a business, where it's got to get tough, and you have to make tough decisions, and it's not all about like pleasing everybody.
No. What kind of a response did you get at the door? Were people understanding where the People's Party was coming from?
Yes, lots of times they didn't hear of the People's Party of Canada. I came across a lot more people that just knew my name than knew the party. So that was challenging. But once you share with them the ideas and some of the things they might be interested in, and they said, oh, that's refreshing, or that's a different way to look at things. And if anything, the People's Party of Canada definitely did politics different. It was great.
The party is a year old. You figure the Liberals and the Conservatives are a lot older than that, and still things happen the way they do. Talk to me about Andrew Scheer. I feel that he wasn't the right guy. His leadership should be reviewed, maybe not, but my point is that the Conservatives had Rona Ambrose, Michelle Rempel, a lot of other women that were part of the party that could have maybe had a better result against Justin Trudeau. The clue was that they were even Steven for the entire 5-week period. That was a clue that maybe Andrew Scheer wasn't catching on to Canadians. What do you think?
Well, I think that Andrew Scheer, unfortunately, was the wrong choice. I wish that at the time it was Maxime Bernier that the Conservative Party picked as their leader, then it would have been hands down. The reason why a lot of people didn't vote for their Conservative riding candidate is because they didn't like Scheer, which is unfortunate. But he just came across as some kind of spoiled kid that hid behind things instead of just being truthful and honest. Like when it came out that he was American citizenship, you know what, just say that. Just say,
exactly.
I just want everybody to know there. Because these kind of things are just going to come out anyways.
Right.
So just be honest with the people. Put your cards on the table so that they can make informed decisions.
Exactly. Andrew Scheer had it all, and he had a campaign manager that was alt-right, kind of far-right, with Ezra Levant, with the rebel media and all of that. So Andrew Scheer was in control. He knew exactly. He had the final say on this, and he chose to go that route and not answer the question. And I think the polls shifted in the end, and maybe in the last week, to create the result we saw last night.
Yeah. It came out on Friday that he did the smear campaign for the PPC. It's kind of ironic. His name rhymes with smear.
Well, now talk to me about another thing that people are saying cost him in Ontario, the decision to hide Doug Ford for 5 weeks. I said that from the start. That was a bad decision, and I think a lot of pundits around in Canada agree with me on that.
Yes, you need to speak your part. obviously Doug Ford was part of the Conservative Party, and because of the controversy what Doug Ford was up to lately with all the budget cuts and people, there's a lot of organizations that were upset over Doug Ford and his cuts. So dealing with that matter at the very beginning of the campaign would have been in Scheer's best interest, and have a statement that you have to, that you want to say, and say, like, yes, people, maybe we can correct some of Ford's behavior, whatever Scheer believed in or whatever he could have said, but to just hide it, keep hiding it, that's right. Making people feel like you're being deceitful.
That's
just
right.
Tell us what you're saying. What are you going to do?
Exactly. You tie that in with the citizenship. You tie that in with not responding to the questions from the media. You tie that in with hiding Doug Ford and bringing in Jason Kenney, the Premier of Alberta, into Ontario. People could see through the smoke and mirrors of that, and they weren't fooled in Ontario last night.
No, they weren't. No, they see right through it. And when you follow the crumb trails, you almost bring back to the original leadership
right.
vote, and then
right.
You feel like, wow, was that even an honest vote, or was there some sort of corruption, hanging on, lingering in that, because it smelt a little funny, so.
The election in 2015 was a referendum on Stephen Harper. What do you think the election last night in 2019 was a referendum on? Was it a referendum on Justin Trudeau or a referendum on the process?
I think more of the process. A lot of people, yes, Trudeau made mistakes and he apologized for them, and a lot of people accepted that it's okay because it seemed like he felt sincere about these mistakes that he made. So it was more just a referendum on the process.
Right. Angus Reid poll last week and a couple of days ago in the National Post, NDP Green Party want the carbon tax killed. But, you have to do something with climate change. And do you find it ironic that the Green Party wanted the carbon tax killed? Are they going to suggest a better way in the new minority government to fight climate change?
Well, I don't think... See, the carbon tax wasn't an environmental assessment improvement strategy. It was just a tax. And I think the Green Party have other things up their sleeves that they wanted to do, which is like other type of tax that they use that money for to incur in corporations and businesses and industries running up. And that I don't think the carbon tax is going to get scrapped at all. The Green Party only had 3 seats, and then the NDP had 24. And Trudeau wants to raise the carbon tax up. We're only, I think, $20, $50 a ton. He wants to raise it up even more. So right. The cost of living is going to go up even more. And I don't think that, even with the minority government, I think with the people that are in government right now, they're going to increase the carbon tax.
Well, we were talking about that prior to the show, and I think that you're right in the sense that the NDP Liberal coalition now with this minority government, Justin Trudeau will be very comfortable being left of center, and he will fit in with the NDP because that's the way he governed in the first term. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I heard that Trudeau say this morning that, or maybe it was his last night's speech, that he was going to be aggressive. Canadians want an aggressive term put out. So I'm hoping that he makes changes to the way he's been over the last right. 4 years, and I'm hoping that it's positive changes.
Well, yeah. And where I was going with that is the fact that I think that this coalition can last longer. The average minority government is anywhere from 18 months to 2 years, but I think with the NDP Liberal coalition, Andrew Scheer is going to find it very difficult to get the NDP and the Bloc to support him to defeat the government.
Yes, the NDP, they talked about the coalition with the Liberals, and they have nowhere else to go. Their party just kind of dissipated. They have less seats now than they did before, and they didn't have the strong backing that they expected.
Right.
So
What do you think happened there with the NDP? Jamet Singh was making a great impression and momentum, and yet they lost seats, and now the Bloc is ahead of them in the House of Commons.
Yes. But the Bloc Québécois was just in Quebec, and they had strong support there. It was hard, I think, for the NDP to find support across Canada. There was a lot of controversy with some of the ideas, and just with who Jagmeet Singh was. People were just didn't want him to represent Canada. And that's how a lot of people
again, I think the bottom line is that Justin Trudeau has a lot of work to do with Quebec and Alberta, and we can hope that he takes it. He knows that with a minority government, the challenges are there, and he'll measure up to them as Prime Minister.
Yes, I'm hoping. That's the only piece of hope I have left. Is that he listens and that he sees Canada did make a statement last night, and
right.
we do want to show, say, hey, we don't like the way things have been going. We switched some things up. So
Right.
I'm hoping he takes that into consideration.
Amy, it was a thrill to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. We'll be back to wrap up the show right after these messages.
Since 1899, the Machine Shop has been a unique space for innovation and creativity. Once a leading pulp and paper company, the Machine Shop was built by Francis H. Clerg, which later became part of St. Mary's Paper in 1984. After the closure of St. Mary's Paper in 2011, the Machine Shop spent 4 years vacant. In 2015, the Machine Shop reopened their doors to the community for the first time. From weddings to galas to concerts and festivals, the one-of-a-kind venue has something for everyone. We are proud to work with the community and local nonprofits to host major events such as Festival of Trees, Pearls and Plaid, an evening at Hogwarts, and more. While you're here, wind down at the Mill Steakhouse and Wine Bar for a quiet dining experience, or watch a game and try a wood fire oven pizza and local draft at the Boiler Room. Don't forget to save room for house-made gelato and baked goods at the Gelato Mill. For more information on the Machine Shop events, history, and restaurants, visit machineshopinc.ca. 3 great places, 1 historic venue.
Hi, it's Andy Martins back with this edition of ONNPoint. We're live on ONTV and Facebook, and thank you so much, Amy Ciccato, for being on the show. The election is all over. In case you missed it, we have a Liberal minority at 157 seats, and Terry Sheehan was re-elected as our MP. On the next edition of ONNPoint, Monday, October 28th, we have Katie Elliott from Future Sault Ste. Marie, and she'll be in to talk about all the great initiatives that the city has done in the last year. Until that time, I'm Andy Martins for ONNPoint. We'll see you then.